in the same order that they were doing with it earlier in the day.
Just beating it into the ground.
Yeah.
Better than pop flies in this climate.
In this climate is absolutely right. It's like gold, isn't it?
And
bring you to bat number 36, Jack Burt.
And we go back to it, you know, Australia's game, mahi te reiria. They put the ball in play and they make sure they chop down on the ball and put it in. So you have to field it and you've got to make the play.
And that was one of those in-betweens. Does he go for it and try to get the out at first, or he lay back and hope it goes foul? I mean, from my vantage point, I mean, it was clearly going to stay fair, but it looks different when you're down there.
It looks absolutely different when you're down there and you're dealing with millimetres and inches as far as decisions and things get made. Paulie made the wrong one in that case, and Australia were the benefactors now with runners at 1 and 2. Jack Burt, the catcher, up to bat, number 36.
This is where Sean Cleary really bears down. Runners on base does not scare him whatsoever. He just bears down a little harder.
That's the hallmark of great pitching, though, isn't it?
That it is.
The ability to shut that pressure out and just go on and do your job.
I've witnessed it firsthand. And you think, oh, geez, and then all of a sudden he just mows them. So let's hope I'll just probably do the same.
You've seen it time and time again in New Zealand with the pitching staff we've had for many years. Bevan, you would have caught to a lot of them. Just that ability under pressure for them to shut that out and just go on with the job and hit the spot that you're asking for.
Oh, definitely. And the thing about it is, when there's no runners on, they do what they need to do. But as soon as that runner gets on and it gets to first or second or third, that K starts to rise. You know, it's coming in another 5 or another 10K, and it starts to be precise.
That's exactly it.
There's a hit out to second base. We're going to look for the double here, and they're going to get it.
Karawe.
And that was excellence in execution by the Canadian infield as they made that difficult play look very easy.
They sure did. That's exactly what we needed, right?
Yeah, exactly. Well, there we go, ladies and gentlemen. We're now complete here in the top of the third innings as they go back to the dugout. These two teams are not giving an inch yet. There's still a long way to go, but we'll see what happens when we come back in just a minute. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Colquhoun Ballpark, nestled in the heart of the Manawatū, in the beautiful region of the Manawatū here in New Zealand, where we've got a heck of a ball game in front of us right now. Two of the very best teams in the world going hard at each other, and neither of them are giving an inch. We've had two complete innings. We're now in the top of the third innings with Canada. Team Canada taking on the Steelers from Australia.
We got Derek Mason leading off, veteran of the Canadian program for many years, and I know this probably will be his last one. I know he's not playing club ball anymore. He played for me for the Bear Creek Express this past year, and he's retired from ISC ball, and I assume he will do that from the Team Canada program.
He's had a good tournament, you know. After day 2, he's hit 3-3-3. You know, he's 2 for 6. And
I know he's a lot of walks, and he's just a consummate professional. Really great leader. You know, like him. If it is his last one, I'll see him go on top.
There you go, with the squad that he's got around him, ladies and gentlemen. I can tell you, Team Canada are a big chance in next week's World Series tournament, and that's the sort of team they bring to these tournaments, though. Team Canada are always there or thereabouts.
Pretty lucky to have a pretty large pool of players to pick from, much like New Zealand.
Softball is a big summer sport in Canada, though, isn't it, Chico?
That it is. You know, for a while though, it's dropping off and it comes back. It's not what it once was, but it's still a lot of good minor ball associations and a lot of towns. So the feeder system's still there, I hope.
Yep. And the strike called by the umpire. He hasn't gone out to the bases to ask.
Ooh, that's tough. Tough call.
Well, there we go. Marshall Cronk gets the strikeout on that one. I'm not sure if Derek Mason might have agreed with the umpire on that call.
No, he definitely didn't, and I'm sure he let him know.
Yeah. But that's the way softball goes. The man in blue has the say, so they say. Quinton Bruce comes in number 52 for Team Canada now.
This is his first time on the men's Canadian national team, so he's a rookie, but he's pretty experienced player, and he's done a lot.
So we're talking about, you know, first timers being on national teams and that. You know, you look at the Black Sox, they've got 8, and you know, talk us through how many has Canada got?
Rookies?
Yeah.
I'll have to look. Quinton, I think, is the only one. Well, Pierce. And Quinton and Zach Pierce, I think, are the only rookies.
Well, that probably speaks volumes about how hard it is to break into the national team in Canada.
Ty Sebastian.
Yeah, three rookies.
I think Ty played in a qualifier someplace a few years ago, but I think this is his first go to WBSC.
Well, we had, of course, Jerome Ramaki in the booth. We had the pleasure of talking to him earlier, didn't we, Bevan? And he alluded to that, to the rookies and assimilating them into the program and getting them used to the environment as well. Now that he's one of the more experienced guys on the roster for the Black Sox.
That's what it takes. You got the veterans, got to bring them in and show them the ropes, right?
That's right.
Quinton just hit a hard ball, which a few years ago would have been a hit up the middle, but the defense is a little different these days. That was a line shot up the middle.
Especially with Nick up the middle.
Yeah, Nick was just standing there waiting for it. Yeah, he's pretty solid.
That's the experience that Nick brings.
Absolutely.
You know, he knows these hitters inside and out, so
and
he's going to stand and put himself in those positions of where the ball's...
And he studies them, right? He remembers, right? So, yeah.
These are the mental calculations that go in the head of the man. There we go. Nick Shale's getting under that pop fly as we see that Wynn do the job on that ball again. No problems for the Australians in the top of the third innings. It's 3 up and 3 down for Team Canada. Look, things are extremely tight and are moving very quickly. So we'll be back to see how quickly the bottom of the third innings moves in just a minute.
Your ideas, your plans, your vision for your dream home. At Golden Homes, we work with you to create a home you'll love living in. With total design flexibility, our exclusive gold standard building system and Zog steel framing proven to withstand magnitude 9 earthquake activity, your new Golden Home will have all the strength, comfort and sophistication you've been dreaming of.
It's a better home you'll own. Golden Homes.
Golden Homes. Call 0800 22 22 36.
Te rao, te raukura, Te Awa Kairangi's annual festival day is back. Saturday, January the 28th, 2023. We're looking forward to putting on the big event again for the Hutt Valley, where we'll bring to you local entertainment from local performers and guests and more. Te Whiti Park on Saturday the 28th of January 2023.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're now into the bottom of the third innings in this game. It's moving along very fast. We've got Team Canada taking on the Steelers from Australia here at Colquhoun Ballpark in the Tradestaff International Invitational. The winner of this one, of course, goes on to tonight's grand final. Due to start at 7 o'clock, so don't you go anywhere after this ball game, because you have not seen nothing until you see a grand final. There we see a shot out to third base, comfortably fielded out there by Paulie. He fires it across the diamond for the first out here in the bottom of the third innings we're in. There we go.
One pitch, one out. That's
the economy you want, isn't it?
Pitchers really like that.
And of course that batter was
You got Scott Patterson up to bat.
Scott
now?
Patterson, top of the shop for Australia, up to bat after the out. Brendan O'Byrne, of course, was the batter for that one.
And he's a tough out.
He is.
You know, he was the one that causes havoc down the bottom of the order and makes it easier for the top of the order to come up and have another shot.
It's interesting, we talked about it several occasions in that game against the Black Sox, that both teams were having batters showing tremendous patience, making the pitches go deep into counts. There we saw Brendan O'Byrne having a go at the very first pitch. You talked about it being right in his wheelhouse, so I presume that's what he was thinking when he swung at that pitch. There's a nice hit by Patterson, a line drive out to left field. Comfortably fielded, but not in time to make the runner safe at one. Callum Bishop will come up after, now for the Australian team.
You know, once again, he's not over swinging. He's staying within himself, and all he's doing is just putting bat to ball and just driving it.
Well, these Australian teams obviously pride themselves on the ability to get runners on deck early, and we've seen it time after time after time from them, which is what it makes them, one of the reasons it makes them so hard to beat. But another reason is we're seeing what's shaping in this ball game right now, and that's the pitching duel that's developing. Very interesting, because the game so far has been dominated by both pitchers.
So far, but there's a lot
The
of
shackles do break, that's right.
You know, Australia wants to get their first couple of batters on for Nick, right? So Nick's a clutch hitter, get some runners on, you know, he may do some damage.
Sure can, but the very impressive Sean Cleary working hard out there for Team Canada, looking very good. Australia have had a hitter, one safe hitter from this inning already, which is the reason why Patterson is out there at first base.
And Cleary will be aware of it with Nick on deck. He'll be aware of making sure if I get a ground ball double play, we're out of here, Nick's coming to see me next inning.
Absolutely.
And that's what they're playing. They're playing for that right there.
Yeah. There we go. Bishop looking to give them the opportunity to do just that.
Yeah. Nobody really wants to pitch to these hitters, but the good elite pitchers don't care who it is.
We've seen in this tournament, catcher-wise, Bevan, how good these guys are at this level, and firing the runners out to two. To the point where the success rate would be very low.
Yeah, definitely. Yes. And Ryan has got a cannon behind there.
Yeah.
You know, and watched him when they played in the Pan Am games, and he was throwing guys out across over there.
And there we see Australia doing exactly what we just described now. And the first time that Team Canada under some real pressure now from the Australians, with runners at 1 and 2. There's only one down, and of course the ever-present, ever-lurking Nick Shales up to bat.
That was one of the ones just in between.
Yep. If you're the Aussie coach, Chico, there's multiple options out there for you right now, isn't there?
Absolutely. He's hitting.
He's definitely hitting. You don't want to take the bat out of his hand, you know, especially this guy.
Yeah.
You know, and he's only going to get 1 or 2 pitches at this at bat, and he knows that. You know.
Well, this is two of the world's very best going at each other there with Sean Cleary out there on the hill, Nick Shales doing the batting, and Ryan Borland. I mean, there's a ton of experience right there in those 3 lines.
They've had many battles.
Yeah. A ton of experience right there just in those 3 names. Advantage Cleary on those first 2 pitches. 2 strikes.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Nick he'd like that one back.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to see a strike here.
You know, it's very similar to the baseball boys. You very rarely see them miss when they get one in the middle, but if they do miss, they really beat themselves up about it. And there's a hard hit from Shales. The touch ball is taken out there. And Team Canada have done it again. They've made a difficult double look easy with that excellence in execution.
Yeah, Shane sure did make that look easy. That's good.
He picked that up, then jumped across second base to avoid the slide. Threw out at one for the third out of the error in the innings. That's 3 complete, ladies and gentlemen. Canada, for the first time, had to fight hard to get out of that one. We'll be back in just a minute to see what Australia can do defensively in reply. That was quality.
That's his second double play.
Yeah. But not just that though, it's just boom, gong, gong, you know.
But the other thing too is like you look at it and you got Sean hitting the spot that he wanted to. You know, he made Nick. This is the ball that you're only going to get. Yeah. And that's it. I'm not going to give you another one like it. I've given you one for the day.
Yeah. And you missed it. Yeah. Actually, that was some interesting softball right there, right throughout that at-bat. Yep. In that situation with Nick Shales up there with 2 runners at his disposal. Put that back up when we come back, if you can. Well, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and this ball game remains extremely tight. No score in this one between Team Canada and the Australian Steelers. We're now seeing we're getting into the middle stages of the game. We're in the top of the 4th innings. Up to bat for Team Canada, number 23, Ty Sebastian.
Ty was a late addition to the team due to somebody else that couldn't make it. But he had a great summer, and there were lots of people that thought he maybe should have made it, but he's here and he's done well.
Well, he just pop-flied that one out over first base, comfortably taken by Matt Harrow, the second baseman for Australia, for the first out here in the top of the 4th innings. And there's that rising pitch popped up in the air again. I think we're going to see that repeated quite a lot in this ball game.
You get it up in the air, somebody's probably going to catch it.
Yeah.
And we got Justin Lakowski up from Warman, Saskatchewan.
Yeah, and he's had a good 2 days. You know, he's got 3 RBIs after the 2 days and hitting in the 3 spots. So obviously he's a guy that you definitely have to be aware of with runners on base, because he's going to drive them in.
Yep, he's a real good hitter.
With that hitting, he's going to need to do it, because they now need another leadoff. And there we go. He's popped one. It's gone high once again, and this is what's going to shape as the defensive play in this ball game, is the rising pitch. If you can't get over the top of it, these guys are going to have to start holding off it.
Yeah, that's exactly. You got to put it on the ground.
Yeah.
Or a line drive. Yeah.
And that's the difference between the both teams at the moment. You know, you got Australia putting it into the dirt and getting runners on, and Canada's coming up and they're putting it in the air, and there's no one getting on.
With the winds, you know, it's easier to track down, staying up there a long time.
All right, so up to bat, we're back up with number 51, Ryan Borland. One of the real power hitters, not just of Canadian softball, but in the world. Marshall Cronk, with Adam Fulcard, probably considered the ace for Australia, doing a good job out there.
Yeah, he is actually. You know, he's doing what he needs to do. He's actually just coming through 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. He's doing an outstanding job on the mound for Australia.
He's going after him. He's not wasting a lot of pitches.
No, that's right.
He's taken the pace off that one, and Borland's fouled it back. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. here in the top of the 4th innings. And this one is hard hit out to right field. It is holding up once again in that wind. And out there, Brendan O'Byrne gets under that one very comfortably in the end. And that will once again bring to close a very fast half an inning as we see the two teams make their way back to the dugout. No score in this ball game between Team Canada and Australia. Things remain very tight. We'll come back in just a minute to see what happens.
That's good though.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're here at Colquhoun Ballpark as the shadows begin to get a little bit longer out there now. It's 6 o'clock in the evening here in New Zealand. We've got a brisk headwind into the batters that is defensively giving them some real headaches. We've seen several pop flies taken in the outfield to dismiss teams, and I think unless the batters can get over the top of the rising pitch, that we're going to see more of the same.
You know, the good thing about the Canada side, you know, with their defence, they've given up one error, you know, and it was just a little bobble there. But then we see that they've turned 2 outstanding double plays.
Yeah, it is about the way you come back from that adversity, isn't it? I mean, if you cop up an error, then you come back with 2 of the most efficient double plays you'd ever want to see. There was no way that Australia were going to turn either of those runners, advance either of those runners around the base. They were that good. Here we go, Australia doing it again. And this time it is Brian Avery. Number 33 for Australia.
Marshall
Cronk. My apologies. You know what I've done? I haven't changed over my paper in the middle of the innings.
Yeah, Marshall's just a really good hitter.
I'm glad you spotted the deliberate error there, Chico. I'll buy you a chocolate fish after this game. Marshall Cronkite was there, hit that one very hard out to left field. He's replaced now by Josh McGovern, number 21.
Definitely a double play candidate.
And you can see, you'll probably see a different attitude with him squaring around and
for sure.
With Lane Harrow understanding that they've just rolled out 2 double plays against you. There's no way he wants that to happen again.
So, I mean, tactically, is he going to go to the short and then maybe get to drop it in the dirt? Or is he going to try and keep hammering it through the infield?
Well, you know, it's a bit tough now. You know, there's, what have we got, 1-on-1? And, you know, he's definitely going to get this. He'd like that runner to get across the second. So you're probably looking at a high percentage chance that he's going to square, put that bunt down.
That's exactly what he was looking to do.
Yeah. And you know, as we teach the younger generation, we bunt strikes. It's not the ball that comes down. You're bunting a strike to put it on the ground.
Seems to be a lost art, to be honest.
Yeah, very much so. When you see it executed well, it's a beautiful thing to watch, actually. And even the bunter, or maybe a sacrifice bunt to get the runner across, but they do give themselves a high percentage of getting 2-1 safe themselves. This one's been popped up. It's going back as the wind just carries it back over the top of the commentary position. The man's on top of the clubhouse.
I find at this level of ball anymore, there's not a lot of bunting. Now, you'll see it in the 6th and 7th inning. We're down a run or need a run to tie it up. But you don't see it very often, not like it once was.
Very much used to be a weapon. And there were bunt specialists out there. And that's all they'd pretty much do.
Well, back in the day, we had our intermediate team, and automatic. If it was a man on first, we bunted every time. It wasn't even a question. But not so much in the senior level.
I've been to quite a few tournaments in the last couple of years with this commentary work. It's always been a pleasure to do it. But I have seen, as a tactic, the bunt, the running slaps, starting to make its way back into New Zealand softball.
Well, that's a good thing, I think. It's tough to defend a slapper.
Yeah. And there's another hard hit. This time it's gone down the left field line.
Tāne mahuta mātou, Maui.
Australia have done it once again. This time they've put runners at 1 and 2.
They're finding that 5-6 hole, aren't they?
Yeah.
Driving the ball down in that alley. That's where they're working. You know, majority of their hits are going that way. They're definitely not trying to hit the ball the other way because it's just going to hold up into the wind.
The very dangerous number 4, we've talked about it before, Josh White up to bat. 2 runners out there and no outs this time. This is, as we're getting into the middle, we are in the middle stages now of this ball game. This really is Australia's chance to open this ball game up, isn't it?
Yeah, it sure is. You know, he's going to, you know, he's squaring around and he's trying to do his job for the team. You know, advance those runners across.
At least he got it out there. You're not trying for a base hit. He got it out there, right? Everybody knows what's going on. If he gets it on the ground, probably going to advance both runners.
Yeah, I would think that in this situation, the Australian coach would be very disappointed if they don't convert a run out of this situation. Very definitely advantage Team Australia right now. And there we go. This one's going to hit the grass. It's going to be looking like scoring a run as the runner comes around now. And there's a technical throw that stops another chance of an error or another runner coming in on a pass ball. Time is called, but not before Australia do exactly what they've been threatening to do for the last 2 innings, score a run and edge slightly ahead of Team Canada in this one by 1-0.
And there he goes, Josh White. You know, we spoke about him on day 2. He's the top of the leaderboard. He'd be racking up the hits. You know, in the last game there, he got a couple of hits as well. And here he comes again, up to bat. You know, he is a threat.
He just did what he had to do.
Yeah,
got it over the infield, not trying to do too much, just put the ball in play.
That'll bring to bat Riley James, number 10 for Australia. And danger signs for Canada in this ball game right now. There's one in the bag for Australia, but still none out.
There's plenty of options here for Lane. You know, the coach of Australia, you know, he's got a left-hander hitter up. He's got that option of having a squeeze play, dropping that bunt. You got that 1 and 3 where you advance that runner across.
On contact here, right?
He's got plenty of options here. Here we go, squeeze play, squeeze play. There you go, right there.
And that is execution there again, right there. That is softball at its very best right there, ladies and gentlemen, on a squeeze play. Australia have executed it perfectly to convert another run. You see the replay there. The slide is perfect, inch perfect. The throw is inch perfect, but the conversion of that squeeze play was so. There's a nice piece of sportsmanship there as well as he picks up the catcher's mask.
And it's also, you know, you go back and you look at Lane, you know, Lane Harrow, the head coach of Australia, understanding what his players are able to do in certain situations, having a confidence in the young man of Riley James to be able to throw that squeeze play down there against a top pitcher.
It's a great play, really.
We talked at the top. Did
everything right, yeah?
Did everything right. We talked at the top of the innings that it might be developing into a pitcher duel. Very much heavy pressure now on Sean Cleary to get an out. There's no outs in this one. He's thrown a lot of pitches now, which is at odds with the previous 3 innings. And now it'll be interesting to see how he responds. He's an international quality class player. So there he goes. He responds by firing a laser beam straight through the zone.
You know, we spoke about how Canada were turning those double plays. Here's Lane Harrow coming up, and okay, you try to turn a double play with a bunt ball. Let's see what you can do.
Yeah,
it's a great play.
A great play and a great call. That one will go on the highlight reel for a few years, I'm sure. Here we go. Let's go to the rundown here now, and it's Australia that Canada, too much pace from Paulie, pushes the runner back to one after he takes the out, and that's a nice play by Team Canada. Very much onto it in that play was the catcher.
Yeah, Tino Koi, very sharp.
Ryan likes to throw behind the runner there.
Yeah. And a great heads-up play.
Heads-up play. That the runner at one had backed up too far. He had no chance of getting back to one on that throw. And that left them stranded out there. Both runners in the end. Probably lucky they didn't get two thrown out at one stage there. As it is, it's one down now, exactly what Team Canada were looking for. It's Australia that have now edged ahead in this ball game though. They lead by 2-0. Up to bat, Brendan O'Byrne for Australia.
Fault. We think one.
One out, we think that it is in fact one out. Brendan O'Byrne up to Australia for number 7. Not much has changed in this equation. They still have an opportunity to move a run with or without a sacrifice play. There we go. That was
now
strike 3. That was 2 out. Ladies and gentlemen, there we go, 3 down as we've finished here now in the top of the 5th innings.
Canada's going to have
Bottom of the 4th innings as we head into the top of the 5th innings. It's Canada that have got a lot ahead of them. We'll be back in just a minute to see what happens. We'll go.
Yeah, no.
Exploded in this ball game, ladies and gentlemen, and it's exploded to the point that the commentators lost their thread on how many outs there were. But 3 outs it was indeed, and we've headed into the top of the 5th innings with 4 complete. It's Australia that have given themselves the advantage of this ball game by 2-0 over Team Canada, and have looked very professional in doing it. The offence from them has been, well, it's been of the very highest level.
Yeah, they're putting the ball on the ground and finding holes, right? And Canada's been popping up a lot, and you know, in that wind, people get time to track it down. So I think Brian Abreu here will get us started, and we'll go from there.
Do you think that they'd change their tactics, Chico? Do you think Canada, you know, obviously they've gone in and hit the ball and popped up. Do you think that they'll look at trying to do things to put it in, or they'll stay just what they're doing?
No, I think they'll still. I just think they'll still keep with what they're planning on doing, and you know what? Eventually, it's going to come through for them. But you know, it doesn't always happen, right? So
the eventuality is they hope that it does it before the end of the 7th inning.
Right. You just can't change your approach. You know, after 3 or 4 innings or 5 innings of a game, right? You got to keep doing what you're doing, and eventually it'll come.
The discipline in the batting, maybe a little bit down, not quite what they're looking for. I mean, they're continually popping the ball up out there at the moment.
Yeah, maybe
they've been looking to get over the top of the pitch.
Maybe they're not picking the best pitches to hit, maybe, but sometimes you got to give the pitcher a little bit of credit.
And there's a sharp bit of play out there at third base by Josh McGovern. He left it in no doubt when he fielded that one that he was fielding it in fair play.
And then once again, you know, he's Marshall Cronk. He's chewing through them, you know. Lee, you know, very, very few pitches thrown to hitters, and we got 2 outs.
Well, we're in the 5th innings. I'd serious doubt he's thrown more than about 40 or 50 pitches, if that. maybe as low as 35.
Yeah, he's thrown well, and and maybe Canada's helping a little by maybe not taking enough pitches. I think maybe they could take a few more pitches, but
Well, there we go. We had an extremely tight ball game there, ladies and gentlemen. It still is, because 2 runs is not going to make a team like Canada panic. That's for sure. As we see a strike, just grazes the top of the zone by Marshall Cronk, who's been very impressive in this ball game.
Yeah, Paulie could get him on the board quickly. He's a really good young hitter. He's gonna be a good hitter for a long time.
Yeah.
Tyler Paulie from Mitchell, Ontario.
How do you adjust, Bevan, as a batter? I mean, they're continually getting underneath the ball. What's the adjustment they're going to need to get over the top of that pitch?
Well, it's a bit like what Chico said. It's probably pitch selection is probably the first one, and making sure that they're going at the right pitch that they want to be able to drive, or the pitch that they can drive. Some of them might be able to get on top of that rise ball and drive that ball, but
they're not taking many pitches.
No.
Right?
Make Cronk go deeper into his counts would probably certainly help them, that's for sure.
For sure.
Tyler Paulie at bat there is doing a pretty good job of doing that right now. 1 ball and 2 strikes on him. 2 outs for Team Australia though. They wasted no time getting those first 2 outs. This time Paulie's hit one hard down into his foot. The count won't change, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Marshall still ahead, making him chase him.
Yeah.
He's doing what,
He's game face on that guy. He's really out there. He's looking for this one, I think. I can't remember. He's thrown a really bad wayward pitch.
Kick the pipe. Back to the dugout.
Back to the dugout. There's the swinging gate over there. Well, there you go, Cronk. We just talked about it, getting the job done for Australia here in the top of the 5th innings. And he makes he makes work look easy out there when dismissing the Canadians in that innings. We'll be back in just a minute to see what Canada, who now need some runs as we head towards the bottom of the 5th innings, where we'll be back in just a minute. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to this ball game that the Australians have now opened up a little bit. They have their foot in the door, so to speak, with a 2-run lead over Canada as we head into the bottom of the 5th innings. And it's Australia who are out to bat and back at the top of their order. So that seems to have come around pretty quickly, and they did that by scoring all 2 of their runs in the previous innings. Cleary continues to go to work out there. No sign of him being replaced in this ball game. I don't think they need to panic too much with they're only 2 runs down. And he actually has not pitched too bad again, but the Australian batting has been next level at the moment. They just keep putting it out there. Keep getting runners on early.
They're just pecking away and putting the ball in play. They haven't hit anything really hard by no means.
No, as Bevan said before, they're not trying to overhit the ball at all. They're just getting it in play. And there we go. And, you know, they've got that 5-6 hole sewed up at the moment, and they just keep hitting it through there.
And once again, you see him holding the bat. He's choked up on the bat, and he's just trying to punch it down. Yeah. That's all they're doing.
Adjustments.
Yep.
Those little adjustments. It just gives them enough extra time to get over the top of that swing.
And once again, you got the lead off on.
That's right. He's sitting out there at first base, staring down the barrel of second base with none out, and Callum Beashall up to bat. And he's hit this one hard into the dirt. And there we go again. And a straight throw's gone all the way out to centre field. There's a nice throw back into the diamond. No chance of a run to home. But Australia just continue now to put a bit of hurt on Canada. Runners on the corners, none down.
We got a new third baseman for Canada. Derek Mason has moved over from first base to third base and made a really nice pick on that. Just ball got away on him on the throw a little bit there, but yeah. And
it's been a tough place for the Canadians to field today.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, Paulie didn't have any real luck out there. He made a couple of fine stops without being able to complete the throws, and there we go. That one fires all the way out. That's prompted a conference from Team Canada.
So Mason's now playing third base, and Corey Jones has come into first base for Canada.
These little brushes in the ground there, Bevan, having a look at those on the screen. Is that just because the dirt just covers up the white lines and still gives them an indication of where things are?
No, it's just to mark it, just for marking.
Just for marking. That's for the ringaropa, that's for the ground crew. Make life easier for them.
Oh, there you go. Nice to know. I'm sure people were wondering what are those, were they there for looks or do they serve a purpose?
No.
Yeah, but it just makes life easier for the ground crew.
Some other defensive changes for Canada. It looks like Quentin Bruce in center now and Paulai in left. I think that's positional changes.
Oh, yeah. So he's come off the positional change.
Jones, probably Jones for Avery. I'm guessing that would be the change because Avery's not out there anymore, I don't think.
Well, anyway, the upshot of all of that is Australia going about their business with clinical efficiency with the bat in hand, and there's Nick Shales with none out, looking to hit it straight into that 5-6 hole again.
They need a strikeout here.
Oh, absolutely essential and out for Team Canada. It's fundamental to their future in the game at the moment, I think. The way Cronk is pitching, he's not likely to give them much of anything between now and the end of the game, assuming he doesn't get rested. There we go, as we see the runner from one make his way down to two.
Get the bite.
Smart move for sure. Lang's a really good coach.
You really see that from Nick Shales. You know, that's probably not one of his best at-bats that he's had this weekend. And he'll be beating himself up on that in regards to having an opportunity, even fly ball minimum of driving this run in.
Yeah. They got another RBI guy coming up.
Marshall Cronk. And I'll mow them down off the pitching mound, and then I'll come out and score some RBIs. So this guy certainly is, like you say, full in the shoes. 3, 2. There we go, a little bit of correction going on our scoreboard there, ladies and gentlemen. I'm fairly sure it's only still 2-0.
And Sean will only be giving, he won't be giving Marshall much at all. He'll be after giving Marshall a ground ball. The infield's playing in, they're protecting that run so they don't score that run. It's one out. Certainly on the crack of the bat, that runner at third, he's going to be heading home. And there's going to be a play at the plate.
Here we go, he's hit one hard into the dirt.
veteran play there. He knew it was going to go fall, let it go.
Yeah. Looking at the way Patterson was running there, he only had eyes for one destination.
On contact.
Yeah, on contact as soon as it was hit. Well, very dangerous times in this ball game for Canada again. They got a lot of work to do ahead of them in the next 2 innings. If they're going to get back on par, at least with this Australian team, the way they're playing at the moment, certainly are dominating proceedings. Let's go back to the coaches then, Chico. What are the Canadian coaches thinking? What are they going to? What plan do you think they're going to go to?
They got to get base runners first. And after
That's
that,
essential, of course. Yeah.
You got to get base runners. There's not much they can do. It's hard to generate anything if you don't have base runners, right? So.
And you can see here with Sean Cleary, he's coming in. He's keeping the ball tight on Marshall. You know, he's not giving him much so he can extend his arms out. He's throwing that ball down and in, and you know he wants that ground ball. There he is.
Yep.
There you go, and he's done a nice job on that one. He's kept that ball tight on the inside for a strike, and that has struck out Conk for the second out.
Or could get the plate.
Now you just got to bear down on this guy. Same thing he did the last at-bat. Do the same thing here.
That's right. But you know, with him setting that pitch up on the outside, getting that last strike there, that was done on the previous pitches before. You know, he was
for sure.
He was digging in tight on him, throwing down and in, down, and Marshall was having a hack at it.
You know what? Sean and Ryan have been, you know, a battery for a long time. They're really good at working the count and then working the batters.
We talked during the Black Sox game against Australia that the coaches were probably enjoying seeing their team. Well, you wouldn't enjoy being behind or anything like that, but certainly getting more out of seeing their teams under pressure in this situation. In a tournament like this, where it's only really leading into the more important WBSC World Series next week. So probably the same for, once again, Lane Harrow and the coaching staff for Canada as well.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Very important, you know, we see the likes of the young Tane Mumu used a lot today by the Black Sox, Bevan, you know, with the pressure that they've been under in the 2 games and the one they went down to in the Czech Republic, and how a guy like that responds as well with his youth.
He's a good young player for sure.
Yeah. And it's just giving him exposure, you know, because you know if you look at it with the Black Sox, you know, you got Cole Evans. He's the only shortstop that we've got. So if he goes down, who we got?
No, I remember the first time I saw him, he was a 16-year-old playing in for the Black Sox in Saskatoon, and he did really well.
Yeah. Probably the next cab off the rank you'd probably think would be Reese Evans, but Tane Mumu definitely gives them that option now if Cole Evans has to be pulled out of that position.
It's a pretty important position for sure.
That one high in the zone to Josh McGovern this time. It is number 21 for Australia. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out, 2-0. Bottom of the 5th innings.
Sean won't want to let this one go. You know,
no,
he don't want to load the bases up here with Josh White coming up. He knows he can go straight at this hitter and he'll be after him.
Yeah, so I expect to be a lot on this pitch. A lot of, hello, this is a big change-up. Well, that was the sort of change-up that turns batters to stone, and that's exactly what it did for Josh McGovern, and that'll complete the innings for Team Canada. They got out of that one, and it was 3 down as we head now to the top of the 6th innings. It's 2-0 to Australia in this one over Team Canada. We'll be back with more action in just a minute. There we are, ladies and gentlemen, three of the handsomest commentators you're ever likely to see. Gary, Chico and Bevan, there we go. That's a heck of a front row, look at him. But there we go, ladies and gentlemen, we're now in the sixth innings. It's 2-0, the pressure's on Canada to do something, and there they go. They start up with a shot through the 5-6 hole themselves, right out there, right past the shortstop to open things up. And this is exactly the start they wanted in this sixth innings.
Absolutely. Just put the ball in play someplace, right? Make somebody make a play on it.
Well, they've broken the goose egg. That's their first hit of the game. You know,
I didn't know that, but yeah.
They've broken it.
Well, Marshall Cronk was on a no-hitter up till that point, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, the only other runner was on by walks, by ball.
That was number 29, Jared Mason.
Brucey.
Now we got a high fly ball out there, and it's the right fielder who's looking to get under it. Runs into the fence, and the ball beats him over the fence for a foul. A lot of action in that foul ball, but in the end, he's back there to hit the ball.
I've seen Quentin Bruce hit a lot of long, deep home runs, so he's very capable, really good young player. You know, but you know, Marshall, I mean, it's what, sixth inning now. You gotta believe he's getting a little tired too, right?
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
You know, you should be getting on him by now.
Yeah, they have seen quite a bit of him. It's only been in short bursts as he's wanted to get 3 up, 3 down. But by this time the inning, the order's been through twice. They have seen him. He's hit one back. They're looking for a double. They've turned it every bit as efficiently as the Canadians did earlier in the game. And that was something that just to really kill that glimmer of momentum that Canada looked like having.
Hey, Cronk made a hell of a play on that one.
Go back to the top of the order for them now is number 91, Shane Borland. And there's a familiar scene out there. I mean, if they hadn't completed that double play, they might have still had a run, but that was an excellent play. We've seen 3 double plays in the ball game now that have been really top draw.
That was a very good play. You know, first to stab that ball and turn around and have the wherewithal to slow it down, get it to second base.
Yep. You look up, I've got time, so make sure of the throw. Great replay there, boys, for show the audience that one. The first pitch that's probably gone into the dirt this time from Marshall Cronk. We've seen a couple of firsts in this innings. This is his 6th inning of work. Of course, he could be forgiven for being a little bit tired because he has kept things so tight out there on the hill for Australia. Very impressive to my mind. Both him and Jack Burt, the catcher, have done a great job as a battery.
Yeah, they have. They've done a great job in tying this experienced team up. You know, like I said, up until this innings, you know, that was their first base hit, and then next minute they turn around and roll a double play. So here we go. We're looking at it here. You know, pitches it, hot ball straight back to Marshall. Quick turn. You know, he knew where he was going to throw the ball. He made a nice throw to the chest to be able to roll that double play.
And that's what good plays are. For all you young softballers out there listening, you look at the situation in the field and you know before, if that ball's going to hit the bat and it comes to you, you know before that happens where you're going to throw the ball if you get it.
Yep. You know what? At this level, we should expect that double play.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
If they don't make that double play, they're probably not.
We talk about it as being top draw, but I'm sure for these guys, it's oh well, we made another double play. That's what we were aiming for.
This is the best of the best, right?
Tino tika to kōrero, Chico. You're right on the money. Oh, tane mahuta maui.
Here we go, and Borland puts a bit of curry on that one as he laser beams it out to left field, straight over the head of the shortstop. And there we go. Canada are starting to do a little bit of offensive hitting themselves.
Now we got Ty Sebastian from Brussels, Ontario, coming up over the summer this past year, the IC tournaments. He was one of the hottest hitters all summer, maybe the best hitter all summer in Ontario.
Well, that's saying a lot at ISCs because that's one of the world's top tournaments.
Yeah. I mean, just throughout the summer, he was that good a hitter. He was a great hitter. So.
Well, there we go. Canada now with an opportunity, the second runner out on base. And this is, once again, we're in the 6th innings. It's a crucial time for them. Here's one of these pop flies. It's looking like every effort being made by Nick Shales out there, and he's too good to let it go as he just bobbles it a little bit, but takes it cleanly in the end.
Nick ends the inning on a very good catch.
A very good catch. He made about 30 metres backwards to take that catch. Could have been forgiven for the left fielder calling him off, but with his seniority in the team, probably thought, no, I'll let Nick take it. Anyway, the upshot of it is it's 2-0 to Australia, and we'll be back in just a minute. Well, there we go, ladies and gentlemen. We're 5.5 innings into this one. The bottom of the 6th innings coming up right now. Team Australia 2-0 over Team Canada. And what a great ball game it has been so far to see these world-class outfits just going hammer and tongs at each other. Australia really have had the advantage offensively with several great hits into the outfield. As we see Canadian pitcher Sean Cleary go back to work. He's been all the way through on this one. He's had an innings that he probably wanted to forget as Australia got on top of him, but other than that, he has been top draw. But there we go. We've got number 4, Josh White, one of the very top batters in the tournament, staring him down, and he takes a change-up for a strike. Well, there we go, Chico. We're getting in towards the later stages of this ball game now, and it really is time for Canada to step up to the plate. They need 3 outs with no harm, and then they need runs.
Yeah, they can't afford to give anything up here. You know, they're coming up to a good spot in their batting order. What, 3, 4, 5 when they come up? So, you know, good production part of the order.
They certainly will be looking for their senior hitters in that part of their order when they get into it. But for now, we've got the dangerous part of the order for Australia. There we go. And there's a beautiful takeout there. Oh. And he couldn't quite field it. That would have been an amazing out. And that's really been the story of Canada's fielding, hasn't it? Just the almost, but not quite.
Yeah, that was, you know, that was a play that not many people ever make. So. He did well just to get it that close. Oh, he did well to get it in the air, you know, because he took that going to his right very fast. Yeah, but, you know, the Australian team, they're putting the ball in play and making defense work. Yeah, and there we see Australia once again with a runner out at 1 early in an innings. It's prompted the Canadian coach to come out for a conference. I think he maybe pulled something. Yeah.
And you know, that's, like you say, that's a tough play in the hole. That ball's in the hole, and his body motion is going away from where he needs to throw. Yeah. And he's got to turn around and throw it across the, you know, one of the longest throws in the game that you're going to have to make in the infield. That was Shane Borland, of course, and definitely one of the most important players in the Canadian roster, and he's just a little bit tender after that play. You know, wise heads would say, but he's managed to convince them otherwise, and that he's a trooper. He's going to stay out there. Oh, I'm just fine, coach. Keep me in. But they've done the cautious thing and had a quick look at him. Well, you can't afford to leave somebody in there if it's going to make them worse, right? That's right. That's absolutely right. They need to be sure to start with.
So Josh White safe at 1 for Australia. Riley James up to bat now. And Riley James, Burt and O'Byrne have been a thorn in the side of Canada throughout the whole game.
They sure have.
And Riley's been on twice. You know, he's had 2 at-bats, he's come up, he had a high hopper, and the third baseman let it go, and then he dropped that bunt down for a squeeze. He's in another hit bunting situation with none out and a runner on 1.
But you've talked about it today, and it's what Australia are doing is they're getting it into the dirt and forcing the defence to make the play. And if they don't, or are too slow to make the play, bang, they've nailed the gate by converting the run.
And all he's going to do, he's choked up again, he's just going to try to punch it into that 5-6 hole. That's all he's going to try to do here.
That is a wonderful pitch by Cleary, and he strikes out.
Kita Pai.
Riley James, who, as we just heard, heads to the gates. Here we go, runner on 1, 1 down. Jack Burt up to bat now for Australia. All right, maybe a change coming up here as we see...
Hayden Matthews, I think. Hayden Matthews going to come in for an at-bat.
Pretty good stick on the bench.
Yes, that's not a bad guy to bring in. He's batted good throughout the tournament as well. Number 14, Hayden Matthews, coming in for a pinch hit here. For Australia, the first sign that Australia are deep in the game are looking for some insurance. So start bringing out a pinch hitter, and not a bad one at that. Well, the light's just starting to decrease a little bit out there right now as that cloud comes to visit. Don't forget, at the conclusion of this ball game, whoever is the winner go on to the grand final to meet Japan. So we don't want you to go anywhere because that game, just like this one and the previous 2 before it today, should be an absolute cracker. Top 6 teams in the world have been going at each other here now for 3 days. They've had to contend with each other and the weather. Who's been the 7th team out there. They've managed to conquer that so far. We haven't missed too much softball in this tournament, and with only about 9 innings to go in the tournament, as we see number 14 get the job done, and he's rounded too as Josh White, and he's gone all the way to 3, and that's a fine bit of base running. Probably a base he should never have got.
Yeah, that's not like our man at shortstop, Shane Borland. That's very unlike him to turn around and be on his back foot and throw the old backhand glove to try to make that play. That's very uncharacteristic like him.
It was a hard hit ball, but it's a play that you got to make.
Got to make, right. Yep. And we've seen the best shortstops in the world in action here for the last 3 days, and we've seen many plays like that eaten up and the outs made. Australia, they take it and they'll bank it because they've got runners at 2 and 3, and up to bat for them now. Number 7, Brendan O'Byrne. He's high flied one out to the right field foul line.
And good base running there from Hayden Matthews. You know, he put that ball in it. You know, it was just a regulation single, and he's turned and put himself in a scoring position.
Yeah.
I was quite surprised to see him go, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Turned a single into a double as soon as he saw Josh White go. There's some aggression from the coaches to call him through as well.
Absolutely.
Absolute aggression there. It's this is Australia doing what they do. They're looking for insurance now, as they're going to be heading into the 7th innings very shortly, or at least Team Canada will hope very shortly.
Well, I think you're trying to add more runs on. No lead safe with either of these teams, right?
Yeah. That's exactly right.
Have a big inning any time, so you got to put as many runs on the board as you can.
Yeah, well, we've seen more than once in this tournament that going into the later innings, a deficit can be eaten up pretty quickly by any of the teams at this tournament. We saw Australia do it to Japan. We saw the Czech Republic just do it to the Black Sox, and come away with, for them, will be a historic win, just their 2nd win in history over the Black Sox, but done here on New Zealand soil. So for them, that'll be a huge one.
Yep. And, you know, all Lane will be after with Brendan, is he'll be wanting to have quality at bat, give him a fly ball, score this run. Yeah, won't be looking for anything else from.
Yeah,
from
that'll be the minimum expectation will be a run, because there's only one out, and options for Lane Harrow, the coach, are plenty. There's plenty of what he can do. I mean, you know, there's sacrifices, there's bunts, there's squeeze plays, there's all sorts of things he can do out there. And there we see one. This one's going to go into the dirt to the second base. It's not going to score the run as we see the throw come in. And Borland shows some bravery, and two big fellas come together right there. It's Canada that defused that situation, and they do it well.
Very nice play by Laskowski there. Made a real good throw. He was able to catch it. I didn't think they were going to go home there, to be honest with you.
Well, he was onto that one very quickly, and it's prompted a question here from Lane Harrow. Maybe we might need a little bit of insight into what he might be asking.
Yeah, so what he's asking here, he's saying that the catcher wasn't giving him a clear lane through at home plate, and you can't sort of stand either beside the line on the line. You have to give that clear view for that base runner to come home, so they see all of the plate.
Yeah.
But once you get the ball,
you can go there.
It diffuses that, doesn't it?
I didn't see any problem with that whatsoever.
And it's a judgment play for the umpire. You know, you have to make the umpire has to make that call whether he was in front of the base. Here we go. We got it on the screen. We got the replay. Catches come out. You know.
As soon as that ball's in his glove.
There, you know, I'm glad we don't go back up to the top of the screen like all the other sports and then they make a call like that. But you know, right there, you know, that's the umpire's judgment call.
Yeah.
He's got to make that call. In the rules, it says you can't stand there, but it comes back to the umpire where he makes it, and that's what Lane was questioning about.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he got the ball then. He was there, yes, but he had the ball when the guy got there. So, like you said, judgment call.
Well, the judgment was from Andy McManus that he agreed with you, Chico. So you'll be happy to know that one. and he outstood. Runner at 3 and a runner at 1 for Australia. Still very much advantage of them here. They'll be disappointed if they don't convert a run here, because they do have the opportunity to do so. And golden opportunities they are too, because Canada don't give you many, and the few that Australia have been given, they've taken. At bat number 19, Scott Patterson.
And you can see, you know, like if we get a shot of the Canadian infield, especially where third base is standing in shortstop, what they've done is they made a shift. They're trying to fill that gap, and that's where Patterson's been hitting the ball all day, in that hole right there. So.
Yeah, you can see where the third base is fielding now. They're covering that up. It might be an innings or so too late, but you know,
but you got to make
it's not a big lead.
In-game adjustments. That's what you got to do, right?
Yeah, so you got to make adjustments. It's not a big lead, 2-0, and anything can happen. So it's not over until that last pitch is thrown. And straight away you see Patterson looking to go off field. He just held back and dropped the shoulder on that one a little bit.
He's trying to drop one in someplace.
Yeah. But that's what you know, as a defensive side, that's what you want, because he's turned around and he's driven 2 hits in through that gap.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Now he's going to try something different.
That's right.
So 1 ball, 2 strikes, and you know, you get a shot there. You can see where third base is standing, and that is to cover that gap that Australia have been hitting with monotonous consistency today, certainly where the Canadians are concerned. And the Canadian infield moving very quickly on that play, but not quick enough for the umpire to convince him that that wasn't a strike. 2-2 the call on 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th innings. Runners at 1 and 3, 2-0 to Australia. Here's the situation in a nutshell. Here we go, he's taken the pace off that one. Patterson saw it coming, but he couldn't make the adjustment quick enough. Great battle going on here right now. Sean Cleary and Scott Patterson.
Interesting thing is, you know, here we are we're in the bottom of 6, and Sean Cleary gets a brand new ball. You know, and as a pitcher, there's no way you want a brand new ball when you go into the 6th.
That should never happen.
No, that's right. You know, and that's what he's questioning out there. You know, he's
what are you doing? You know, I want that beaten up one. The one that's been hitting the bat, the one that's been hitting the fence. It's got a bit of softness to it. And Scott Patterson doing a great job here of hanging in, taking the pitches, making Cleary work hard for it.
Run on first is going to be going here. We've got 2 outs, full count.
There we go, and Sean Cleary gets the job done, and even though he struck that batter out, he doesn't look happy.
Oh, can get the bye.
There we go, ladies and gentlemen. Still 2-0 to Australia. We're going to be heading into the final innings of this ball game, with Australia continuing to enjoy the lead by 2-0 over Canada. We're going to be back in just a minute, because I can't wait to see what happens. There you go, ladies and gentlemen, we're back, and it's all ahead of Team Canada now, because we're in the 7th innings, and that means they're going to have to score at least 2 runs to hang in there in this ball game. Otherwise, Team Australia will be marching to the grand final. So let's see what, who have we got out there batting? Justin Laskowski, number 97 for Canada.
Canada's looking for a leadoff runner here. Get a runner on and see what happens.
Absolutely critical to their future in this innings to get a leadoff out there.
Big hole out there, Sue.
There you go, they've done just that.
That's the last thing Crop wanted to do.
Well, there we go. We said it was critical, so you think about the way things are right now. When you've only got a 2-0 lead, you've now got the tying run for Canada at the plate.
Looks like the wind maybe died down a little bit too.
It has.
And they're in the right part of the batting order, you know, 4, 5, 6.
Yep, number 51, Ryan Borland, comes into bat.
I just noticed Cronk's got one of those arm things on catchers where to tell them how to pitch each player.
Yeah.
Don't too often see a pitcher wear one of them. Not that I've ever seen one, but catchers, yes.
It's an interesting that Australia have come with something you see widespread throughout college softball in America.
Yeah.
These signal devices that they have on their arms, where the calls are being made from the dugout.
Yeah, I think that's just a cheat sheet. Hey, this is what you got to pitch this guy in this situation. But like I said, I've never seen a pitcher in softball wear one. Lots of catchers I have, but not pitchers.
But it enables them to stay on the same page too, doesn't it?
Yeah.
There we go, a high fly ball. We've talked about it a lot. That's not going to get the job done for Canada. And Ryan Borland knew it. He was very dirty on himself for that one. And Canada with a runner at 1, now 1 down.
And we got Corey Jones coming to bat for the first time this game.
So pinch hitting number 40, Corey Jones for Canada. They're going to move their body, and they can't cost them an out to do it.
real good hitter, Corey.
Marshall Cronk, still impressive. He's just beginning to show a bit of a sign of tiredness. His coach has put the faith in him for the 7th innings day, that he can do the job.
Yeah, he's thrown really well. But you know what? Canada's still only one swing away from tying it.
That's right.
So,
and those outside pitches, corners that he was hitting earlier, just not quite getting there now.
No, that's right. You know, and Sean Cleary has kept them close. Now, like I said, they're only tying runs at the plate. So.
Here we see a hard hit out to second base. He can't take it. Turns around and throws it to one, but not in time. And there we go. There's a glimmer of light behind the window for Team Canada, as they now have, with one down, runners at 1 and 2.
Maybe it's a break they needed, right? You know.
Yeah.
I am kind of pulling for him.
Just a little bit.
But here we go. You know, they've put the ball on the ground.
Yep.
And let the ball do the work.
Exactly. You never know where it can bounce. Fly ball, pretty easy to track down a fly ball, right?
Let the ball do the work on the ground and force the infield to make the play. Couldn't quite do it with that one.
Oh, Bradley Ezekiel's going to bat for...
So Brad Ezekiel coming for...
Colin Walsh, I guess.
Colin Walsh, it will be.
Yeah, Bradley Ezekiel.
He was next up in the order. And another quality batter to be brought in.
Here's a guy who can hit a home run almost at any time.
So if you want a home run to win a ball game...
Clearly one of the best hitters in the world. No question.
Well, Marshall Cronk probably more so right now, definitely, than throughout the whole ball game, under pressure.
I'll guarantee you Marshall didn't want to see him come up.
No, absolutely not. He wanted that out probably more than any other player out there on that field.
He's nursing some kind of small injury, but not enough to stop him from coming in here.
There we see once again. See that pitch he was using to great effect was getting the Canadian batters to swing. It's just a little bit higher now. The pitches that were just grazing the plate are just a little bit off the plate. So just another sign that maybe he's just getting a little bit tired. Oh, and he's got him to chase that one big time, and that'll be a huge sigh of release for the Australians to see Brad Ezekiel heading back to the dugout as the second out here in the bottom of the 7th innings. And can Canada put the faith in Tyler Pooley? He'll come up and do the job for them here now. And he's hit one into the dirt, it's gone foul.
I know he hit quite a few home runs for our club team, Bear Creek Express, this past season, so I know he can do it. And he's a really good stick.
Well, this bottom of the 7th innings, it's 3 up and 3 down for Australia. Has not been a procession for them. As we see now, Cronk may have a little bit of adrenaline because he's just starting to find that spot again, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
Yeah. He's 1 out away. And
1 out away.
From an outstanding game.
Yeah.
He's pitched.
There we go, that one off the plate. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Still advantage the pitcher in this battle. Canada got 2 runs out there though.
So this is his 26th hitter he's facing in this game. 7.
Oh, and there's a familiar sight as the ball's gone high up in the air. Getting under it is the left fielder, and he makes no problem with the catch, and that'll do it in this one now. It's Australia who win this ball game over Team Canada. An absolutely enthralling encounter between these two teams, and it's Australia who head to the grand final. Chico, your final word for the match?
Well, I don't know. Canada just didn't put enough balls in play on the ground, but Marshall Cronk, he's the MVP of this game for my money.
Absolutely, Marshall Cronk. There we go. We'll leave that with the Ballpark Broadcasting Player of the Match. My final words before I hand it over to our Te Reo specialist will be that I have absolutely enjoyed the privilege of commentating with you two gentlemen in this one, Chico and Bevan, and I'm looking forward certainly in the future to more work with you guys. But for me, that's over for now, and I'll hand it over to Bevan in this one and say, don't go anywhere, because we've got a heck of a grand final coming up.
Yes, we do.
Atiawa Nui, ko te matai mahi e nai anei. Manawatina, Manawatina, Manawatoka, Manawatoka. Tēnei hoki tō manawaka tīna, tēnei hoki tō manawaka toka. Tēnei hoki tō manawaka pautaia ki tia. Tīna noho tō manawa, e manawa ora, he ora. Haumi e, hui e, tāki e.